Welcome to MotoGP Mac, where MotoGP fans congregate and fanboys fear to tread. How you doing, pal? What's going on?
I,
Marvelous news.
what my appearance that I look
You're
baby faced and beautiful and all of this shit. Yeah. So
no,
myself and Jake were just messing. I found a setting that does one of those Snapchat filters, but I'm back to the real me now. So anyway, so lots to talk about, my man. Lots to talk about.
Yeah, it was great to see. You know me, I'm a vengeful person. It was great to see Ducati doing well and Honda going down the bottom after pissing and moaning after all that.
I think you're way out with that. I think Honda were really impressive. I think they were like there is no team that made a 1.1 second jump.
Well, they must need.
Now look,
they're still at the bottom.
they're not. Mir, like the combined test, Mir was 9th overall. That's not bottom, man. That's fucking. It's probably better than he ever qualified in the fucking in the whole of last year. I know it's just testing, but I was actually quite surprised with them. To be fair, I thought. I said this on the record last year. I was more worried. You know, I did think Honda would beat Yamaha. I don't know now, but like Jesus, I didn't think Honda could close that gap that quick. And
no, I thought they could. I figured should
consistently close the gap. But like, okay, the only slow Honda rider at the weekend really, or in the test, was Brattle. You know, the rest of them were doing good. Listening to the feedback from the riders. Yeah, listen, look, there's still a long way to go for Honda, but Jesus, the riders actually sound genuinely positive for once. Like I think I saw Mir smile during the weekend. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, so no, but look, I think I was pleasantly surprised at how they actually reacted, how they got going. Again, you know, their engine does seem to be better. Maybe they're pushing a bit more, too much more aero than last year as well. But I think they've made a step.
I always thought that they were saying. I always thought they were holding them, and I thought it was a smart move to hold the motor back until the handling got better.
Yeah, but when they're starting to push so much more aero, you know, they can't really hold the motor back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Once you start the handling getting better down, then you crank the motor back up again.
Yeah, it looks like they can get off the corner, or like the drivability to get off the corner is a lot better. I have some interesting stuff coming up about Honda where I know give out about engineering and all of this, but they were really, really working hard on everything, touching every area. Like the one of the main takeaways that I took was that there seemed to like the Honda rear swing arm rather than the Calyx rear swing arm on the 2024. And then I found out that they actually stole or poached Alex from Calyx, who was one of the main engineers in Calyx, and they brought him in-house.
Yeah.
So kind of like, so it was kind of like, I can understand why now the judge. I mean, so
the more Europeans they take, the more Europeans they use, the better they're going to be.
Period. So yeah, so like, and like I did mention this during, I think it was either the last podcast or the one before. I do believe Honda are hiring more and more European designers and stuff like that, and thinking outside the box. But again, you know, one of the things that I found really, really interesting was they were really genuinely testing. Like I saw, okay, obviously lifting the bike up and lifting the bike down, putting the bike fucking sideways and this, that, the other. But they were actually also fucking around with the different thickness of seat foam. but it makes sense, right? Because like you could see the seat foam. One was and it'll be in one of the videos, but one was fairly flat and the other one was wedge shaped slightly, so it was pushing the weight a little bit more forward. Do you know what I mean? Just from a natural. That would just
be for the riders.
No, but it was just no, because it was the same. It was the same rider. So realistically, it would have been. They wouldn't have tried the same seat or different seat.
Right.
You know what I mean? So what it looks to me is that they were trying to angle the rider slightly, just to dip his weight a little bit forward or have his weight a little bit more back. So, for me, I was impressed by them. I will be very honest. I thought fair play. The lap times, look, lap times are lap times in testing, right? I don't take a piss spotter's worth of note. Okay, if you're going to go out and break lap records, that's something, right? But if you look at it on a fairly rubbered in track, let's just call it, it's had a week of running, or 5 or 6 days. It's a fairly well rubbered in track, let's just call it. Mir went 1.1 seconds faster than he qualified the previous, 4 months ago?
Yeah.
5 months ago. So I have to give him fucking pro. And Mir didn't pick that out of his arse either. Do you know what I mean? I do believe Mir was trying in the Sepang Grand Prix as well as he was trying here. Do you know what I mean? So I'll give him kudos. I'll give them, yeah. I still reckon, and I still say this, Honda and Yamaha are the teams under the most pressure this year. If they do not close the gap, then their reputations will be annihilated.
I want to see a little more. I want to see a little more proof, because we went down this road many times where they've said, we're going to get better, we're going to get better, we're going to get better. God, it's been years,
Yeah.
I don't like Honda management anyway.
But there was no Honda rider drastically faster than everyone. Do you know what I mean? So it was kind of okay. Look, obviously, there wasn't one rider that was over a second behind the other. Do you know what I mean? So the pace of the bike is in and around it, right? And you couldn't technically say with Zarco and Marini, they should have been further behind than what they were. But I think they've done quite well. I think Zarco is giving really good information. The only worrying point that I did hear from it was Honda said that with Zarco, they don't want to change the ethos of the Honda bike towards Ducati. They still want it to remain Honda. And I'm going,
why?
Right. You know what I mean? I get, and maybe it's a translation thing, but I get it's they should just, Zarco has just got off one of the race winning bikes, or championship winning bikes. They really need to do what KTM did and sit down, shut up, and listen to what he has to say. And
you say I want to use Honda physics. There's only physics.
But no, look, I think it's kind of interesting. I think it'll be kind of interesting to see where Honda end up in Qatar. I think that's really going to, they can't hide things then. And I'll also be interested to see how many engine updates they will run this year. I don't think they're going to. So obviously they still have the same amount of engines as they're allowed. I don't think they'll be updating an engine every 2 or 3 races, if you know what I mean. So it will be interesting. Will they just save a mid-year? I know for a fact Yamaha are not going to update the engine again until the middle of the year. So
there's only so much you can do with it anyway. There's only so much you can do with it anyway.
There is. But no, look, I think that there's a few class things on the Honda that I did see. I won't really go into them now, but there's a few class things. And Honda did come out with a couple of definitely one thing that I haven't seen on anyone's bike before. So wait out for the video on that one. My beloved Yamaha. It's still not fucking sold on it. I'm more optimistic for Honda than I am for right now.
I think Yamaha's
338 top speed.
I think
I don't think
Yamaha.
so. I don't know.
I'm still saying Yamaha's going to beat Honda. Oh,
I think Yamaha are still, they're in a better position than they were last year, but they didn't make a half second gap. So that they were behind last year. We know Ducati are already fucking 8 tenths ahead of where they were last year. So I'm looking at it and I'm just like going, okay, they did do a top speed run. I don't know whether it was on the last year aero or the new year aero. There's also very big question marks about did they actually make the corner. So like, did they just dive into the braking zone and run on and just set it? So, and again, that's one of those things with those top speeds, you know. Fabio is a demon on the brakes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think, you know, I will give Yamaha some kudos. You know, they did look an awful lot more content. Fabio did look happy in the garage. Rins looked fucking brilliant, I thought. Like, and I have to give kudos to Rins, you know, 0.3 of a second off Fabio, his first proper test on the bike.
Yeah.
You know,
I thought that's out. Man,
Quartararo is definitely under pressure from Rins this season. 100% Rins is going to be there with them. Now, look, Rins does have to learn what the Yamaha is like in proper race. And like, we heard an awful lot over the course of the couple of days about race simulations and this, that, and the other. Lads, you know, pinch of fucking salt with those now, please. Do you know what I mean? Like, a race simulation is when you have fucking 22 or 24 other fucking bikes around you, all trying to take that bit of fucking tarmac that you're on.
Yeah.
Lapping in this and being a second faster or 2 seconds faster over 9 laps means absolutely fuck all, right? You know,
they're doing race distance. Is more of a
yeah. Rather than it is a simulation, but like, I don't know, when business picks up, you know, you have the start, you know, you have the proper start, you have the fucking build up to it, then you have the fucking adrenaline. Do you know what I mean? Of fucking 5 riders being around you and you're fighting for a position. It's just different, you know. Like, it's good to put the engine and the mileage on the engine and the tires and get an understanding, but you know, I think any race I've taken part of has always been very, very different race to testing. But anyway, look, I think Yamaha, I think they're in a better place. I don't think they've made up the ground that they were hoping to make. You know, I also found it very interesting that they're only running the downward duct at the front wing and the rear wing. They're not running any side wings. They found better, I suppose, a better setup overall, or a balance between it. So they have locked in their aero. They have locked in their engine. So they had a very positive test. But again, you know, I just think, is it something that they're a bit of shit out of luck with? Do you know what I mean? Are they still far behind? And I think they are. I don't think they made the jump to Honda, because you have to remember the likes of KTM, Ducati, they've all moved on half a second, 3/4 of a second. You know, Yamaha were already second behind. No, well, I wouldn't say a second. I'd say 7-8 tenths.
I have a gut feeling they're throwing the dice more this year. They're gonna crank that motor up and pray.
Well, they have more engines, right? They do have more engines to blow up.
Exactly.
If they wanted to go down that route. But I don't think so. I don't think they will. Like, it makes sense the way that you could turn around and say, well, they blew up an engine. It's, you know, they're trying. I think 1 or 2 engines they get away with. Do you know what I mean? 3, 4, 5. They're like, what the fuck are these guys doing? They have no idea what's going on. So I think it'd be more brand damaging. So I don't think they're really going to turn the engines up to full tilt and go for it.
Yeah, but, I think they're like you said, maybe a 2 to 3 engine blow up crank up, you know, increase.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen though. I think they're going to stay measured. They're happy enough with their engine performance. So they've said from the test. But look, we wait and see. I'm always harder on Yamaha than any other team because they're my team, right? And it's like want to be straight with it. And if I'm fucking wrong, I'll be the happiest boy in the fucking world if I'm wrong. You know what it is? So
that's the way to be, pal.
Yeah,
kind of lollipops and bullshit like you see on.
Yeah. But KTM, I was a little bit underwhelmed actually with KTM. So with the updates that they brought, I'll be honest, I kind of like I expected a little bit.
A lot, because last year they came out with gangbusters, and then this year it's like,
now maybe they're doing the Ducati route and hiding an awful lot of stuff. I don't necessarily think so. I think KTM have kind of matured into a small bit now, and they focused on like the next test in Qatar. You can already see that Ducati and Yamaha, even as well, KTM have already decided on the main riders' aero and engine specs and all of this. Do you know what I mean? So when they hit the next test, it's not about trying major new parts, well, except for aero with Ducati, I would think. But that might actually go to Pramac. But I think they're nearly onto the final version, or will be on the final version of a lot of their stuff. So aero, engine, do you know what I mean? Chassis. And I think, I think they will then focus, especially in the Qatar one, on race setups and stuff like this, where this one was mostly made going on about testing different parts and specs and lifting it up and dropping it down. But yeah, I thought we would see a little bit more radical stuff from KTM than we saw. I was a little bit disappointed. But saying that, look, the bikes seem to work well. I do believe KTM are in touching distance with Ducati. Is my god honest feeling.
Yeah, they've become the Ducati second string team now. They're the ones that's
they're definitely their main rivals, 100%. Can they sort that rear tire problem? I don't know. Can they keep the life and keep the grip in the tire? I think we'll wait and see. I think the jury's out on it. Jack seems to be happy. He's a lot more confident. He said going into this race or this year's race series or this year's races compared to last year's, and I was kind of like, well, last year you were only fucking new to the bike. You'd only 3 days. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, he should be, in my view. Now, look, again, I love Jack. I think he's some boy, but I do worry about him, and I think he's going to have to push hard this season to keep his seat there. Aprilia, I was very surprised with.
I think Aprilia is going to come out of the. I think they're going to see the bigger additions. I think you're going to see more from Aprilia down the road a bit.
It's
especially in ground effects.
Yeah. So when I first saw the Batmobile style rear fender, I actually thought it was a blown diffuser, like Formula One, and I was like, "Here we fucking go!" Right. And obviously, it was the exhaust is actually to the side of it, so it's not actually blowing into it. But again, they brought out the F1 technology, or it's not F1. Well, it's used quite a lot in F1 with the aero rakes and all of this. Very common, and it is all about trying to reattach the air behind the rider to reduce drag. So look, I definitely think it was quite good. They have a few other things that I did see, and again, we talk about it at a later stage, but I don't know, like Aleix Espargaro seemed to be the only one that would get that bike to work. Miguel didn't. Maverick seemed lost towards the end.
Yeah.
To Joe.
He did. Christ, what was he, 15th or something? He was way off.
But it's not even that. It's like, I think at day 3 tests, right? The first test, you're kind of getting into the groove of you're like day one, first part of day one, you would start on last year's bike. Do you know what I mean? You get your eye in. Then you would start your day and a half of back-to-backing, right? And you would have enough data in that day and a half to be like, okay, we've tried this setting, this setting, this setting, this setting, this setting. So we compared this, and then on the last day, you kind of pick your setup, and you would test and develop from there, and I thought it was quite strange. Like on the third day, he took off the tail unit, went back to the old one. Now, Aleix said something that's very critical, that they have not solved the heat problem.
Oh, I thought they did solve the heat problem.
They haven't fully solved it.
I read they did solve the heat problem anyway.
They haven't fully solved it. So again, a little bit of an oversight from Aprilia to overheat the asset that's riding the bike. It's not the one. It's not the thing you want to overheat. You know what I mean? But Oliveira didn't really get on with it. Raul Fernandez, I think, I don't know, am I just fucking weird? But I think the whole Raul Fernandez situation with Aprilia is fucking weird. So they had to build 10 bikes for this test. They had to build 6 GP24s and 4 GP23s.
Okay.
Brand new. Right? And I'm sitting there and I'm like, why didn't they just give Raul 2 24s and give the 2 23s to the race rider? The race riders wanted a 23. Or the factory riders wanted a 23 to start off on. And I still can't fathom, and it cannot be down to parts, right? It just fucking can't be. Raul has the 2024 engine,
right?
But he has the 2023 chassis. So all the aero and all of that is going to be 2023. He will maybe get it at some point in the middle of the year, which I just think is fucking. Now, he hasn't helped his cause. Like, the first thing you do not do on day one of a test is fucking loop it. And what did he do? He fucking looped it and ended up. You're like, really? Is this really what you're gonna do? And you're just like going, oh. And now now he has an excuse for the year. Do you know what I mean? I'm 3 days behind testing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I had to use secondhand parts because I fucking bust the first one. But or I'm on the 2023. Well, you're on the 2023 because you're not I cannot understand the financial difference or even getting the parts ready because they're there. They have to Let's just be fair.
They get rid of him.
Yeah, look, let's be fair. They went to a test. They had loads of parts or loads of extra body work because they expected them to crash. So I mean, Maverick was taking stuff off. Look, they could have done. I just find it very, very weird. Not shitting on his parade, but I just find it very weird that he's in the situation that they're going to start him on a 2023 chassis with a 2024 engine. Why not just give him the 2024 bike? It's more data that you have. Do you know what I mean? Right. Unless it's something that they're using the 2023 chassis as a reference for the first couple of races. But
unless they made a huge mistake in the 2024.
No, I think if they made a huge mistake, they would have put the riders on the 2023 and left it at that and said, "Oh, we went the wrong direction." They're kind of like that in that sort of sense. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens with him. Ducati is another weird one. They had multiple, as you've seen at this stage. The exhaust is different. The front downward ducts are different. The side pads. I don't know about the side pads. I have a feel. Look, it's just me. I have a feeling that's just bluff, but I could be wrong.
I thought they were neat. The big puffy side pods.
Yeah, I don't know. Fuck's sake, you tip it over, your race is done.
I thought they were phenomenal looking.
Joe, what it is now, right? That one of those bikes fall over. It's like a fella walking down the road with a broken collarbone. He's like, do you know what I mean? And it's just, the race is over. I don't know. I just think it's kind of look. I think Gigi has something special. Apparently, according to Tardazzi, he has something special that he's not going to release, which that makes sense too, because.
Well, if he didn't release it, they seemed happy as a pig and shit. The riders and Bastianini said the bike's better everywhere.
Yeah, well, look, he clearly didn't get on with the 2023. Like, he jumped from a 21 to a 23.
Yeah,
and it was vastly different. And there is some merit to say that people getting onto the 2023, some are not gelling with it, and you can see Bezzecchi is definitely not gelling with it. Di Gianantonio, Alex Marquez, they're fucking gelling with it like they duck to water, and I think it's good to see that. I do think it's good to see what Ducati have done. They're still experimenting. Not a lot of people actually caught that last year, the difference between the downward ducks had changed quite a lot. The opening to drive it down, and I just find I find what they've done interesting. I'm not sure whether it's like, look, it has to be faster. Do you know what I mean? They were fucking balls to the wall, setting ultimate lap records and all of this. So there must be something to work there. I will admit, I'm not a major fan of Aero. I think it's ingenious, the design that he's done. It's not as stupid fucking looking as some of the designs that are out there, like the KTM and the fucking spade out the front of it. Here we go, dig a shovel of shit, right? It's kind of how would I say? It's contained, and I think that's where it is. But then saying that,
remember, it's not a beauty contest. We want to make sure that it's just there to get the bikes going around the.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of people would like to make. There's a lot of people would like to make love to a MotoGP exhaust pipe.
Yeah,
just saying.
Okay,
just saying. So it doesn't have to be. It's not about. It's not. It is not about beauty. You're right on that. But I think I know the Formula One Aero race and when I took part, and I've said this loads of times. I see MotoGP going down that route, and at the end of the day, the fans suffer. Right? You look at what happened at F1 in years gone past. They put on wings here, there, and the other.
You're comparing apples and oranges, but the fans.
You're not though. You're not though. Awake. One sec now. A wake is a wake, right?
No, it's not.
Yeah,
most people like F1. They like the Aero. I'm sorry. That's why it's on all.
They actually don't, Jake. And I'll tell you this,
yes,
right?
For
Formula One, and no. In 2014, Formula One changed the regulations, right?
Yeah.
The Aero regulation, and or no, actually, sorry, it was 2009. They changed the regulations, and the fucking cars look like snowplows. Right, because they extended the wings out to 2 meters at the front and whatever, right? And the fans, it was changed very quickly because the fans just couldn't. So my point
oranges
is
again, apples and oranges. If you go out,
not at all. Did you see half the fucking wings that people were trying? You can see it. I was paying particular interest, not to actually the wings, but it was the gurney flap on the wings, to see what they were trying to do within the gurney flaps. And that, to me, is... And you can also see within it how they're trying to create the mini vortexes down the side of the bike. Like if you look like at the Aprilia rear wheel, they're trying to cover off the rider's legs, the disturbance in the rider's legs that are causing the draft to go in, right? So it's all about... And you can see as well that they are Ducati. They're trying to create a number of vortexes which are turning in. It is very, very interesting. Don't get me wrong; it is very, very interesting. I just don't think it's necessary for a motorbike.
No, it's necessary. It's necessary. You can't. There's no ass in my ass in my hand. And blah blah blah. There'll be ass hand and smashing up. At this point, unless you pull the horsepower off.
But that's what makes motorbike riders different from every other sport in the world. They can only roll into that corner as fast as they can.
They did that and they high-sided all over the place in the night.
But that no, Jake, that was not because of no aero.
The principle's the same. The guy's going to go into something. He's going to try to work his way around it. A rider will always try to work around a problem.
Oh, of course. But that's the age-old thing of that was the rider doing it.
Yeah, but I don't want to see the rider smashed up against the wall, and just like a boxer, you got to save him from himself sometimes.
One sec, though, right? A rider getting smashed against the wall, right? 99% of the time means the electronics failed.
Yeah. Well, that's because
it's not because the aero didn't work.
Yeah,
Let's be fair. No. Let's be fair. A rider coming out of the corner and nowadays gets shot up into the air.
Yeah.
From a high side is not because of.
We got to keep progress going. That's why it's a form.
No one is saying that. No one is saying that progress and this and that and the other. This comes back to the simple solution.
Like we had Steve Parrish on, who's an engineer, and what did he say? We need as much aero and engineering.
No, he didn't say that. No. He did not say that you need much aero. He did say he was a fan of aero.
Yeah.
But he didn't say that you needed aero in it. And you don't need aero for a bike. Does it help? 100% it does. Yeah. Is it 100% required? Nope. Because
you want to stick your kid. If you have your kid, would you want to have him with a bike with aero or one without?
My kid will never ride a bike, my man.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. I'd have my kid. I want him in the aero on that bike because I don't want him sticking his neck.
Yeah, but look, if he's on a racetrack, yes, aero helps you. If you're on the road, no, it fucking doesn't.
Oh, I know.
Makes you look good. Like, imagine how many people now are fucking out.
People like the aero on the bikes, though. That's why they
some no. You're generalizing that all. Some like it, some don't, and that's what the whole point of the sport is. Is like you have people, and I know I read some of your comments calling people back in the old days. Some people are pure, like I have a load of friends that are, it's man and machine. That's it. Like you take it out you go to a TT. You're not racing anyone else. It's you versus the mountains.
They're the fans that have been around for 20, 30 years too.
But they have, but it's very much so. Their opinion is very much so valued as a person that says, I want every single bit of tech on the planet. It doesn't make either side right or wrong.
Well, if it gets more people in the stands, I mean, they're looking to get people in the stands. Then the people in the stands,
they're looking to get people in the stands, Jake.
They're not. They might not be the brightest bulb in the box, and they're just starting out. But they like the aero. That's why they have it on. That's why they have it on street bikes. Every Superbike has aero on it now, except for Suzuki, maybe.
I would agree. I would agree, and I disagree with you. I think the newer age people are more there for a different reason than aero. I think they're there because it's an in thing. Like you look at, again, you go to Formula One, Drive to Survive, all of that, right? They're not there for the cars. They're not there for the entertainment of. They're there to say, as a social thing, I was at the Miami Grand Prix. I met Max Verstappen.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? And again, and that's it. But that's the type of people that Dorna are trying to bring into the sport.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? So they're going to go, oh yeah, the wings look rad, man. They're really cool, right?
Yeah, you do.
That's
what they like. What they like the most when they come to the stop and they shape shift down. when they lower the bike for
Yeah.
they love that. They love that more than anything.
Yeah, but look, again, that's like the whole shot device, right?
Yeah.
So that is a technology that's fucking donkey years old. Do you know what I mean? Does it look cool? Yeah. Like when you look at how the whole shot, even when you go back to motocross with it, right? The whole shot device, you'd see fellas and they fucking jumping on the front suspension of the bike to lock that fucker down, right? And they were. Do you know what I mean? It's got a little bit more finesse now in that MotoGP have taken the development of it to another level. A lot of people, and a lot of people disagree with it. I tend to agree with it because I think that's probably one of the most dangerous times on a MotoGP bike is the very fucking start. When
Of course it is.
Well, yeah. A lot of people don't think they should start naturally,
How are they going to start unnaturally?
How they should start naturally. So no aids.
How are they going to start unnaturally? I mean,
well, it is an unnatural start because you've lowered the bike down. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
The spring is.
I thought they meant in a they were going to try a different start as far as like a running start or.
No. It was like start naturally, like springs in all the right locations. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I've heard fellas saying it's like fucking cheating when giving birth and fucking like taking the epidural and so you won't feel the pain. You know what I mean? It's kind of a false step, but I do agree that in the start it's probably one of the most dangerous times of the race. Right? You have everyone around you all blasting off. No one's going to stop. Do you know what I mean?
No.
So you don't want to be way out of things. So if one has it, they all should have it. But again, I just think the sport is a flavor for everyone. And if someone like wings, some don't like wings. I have a preference that I do believe aero helps, but there's limits. Because the aero race is, in my view, the most dangerous thing that has come into.
I always say, give it a shot, give it a moratorium, and go from there.
It's just about simple.
Trying to go a mid ground,
I think it's just about simple regs. Like it's just, and there's things that you can put in there to do. Like they have a very, very, what I would class in the regulations as a very basic guideline. Or a regulation, and it's like it can't extend out this much, it can't be this or it can't be that, right? But there's a lot of open spaces on that bike that's unregulated. Like I mean, do you know what I mean? And it's just, I just think it's a dodgy thing to leave open. And
we don't know if those unregulated spaces make a difference at this point. I mean,
we do and we don't, because what the teams are now doing is that they're finding ways with the vortexes to drive the air into those locations rather than just normally let them be. Do you know what I mean? So it is, I agree with you, but that is a major development cost. And that's actually, and this is why I think the regulation is there. As I said, I believe aero is one of the most dangerous things to our sport. Not for the fact that there's wings hanging here, there, and everywhere, but the expense that brings along with it. I could see manufacturers going, fuck it. It's now raised from 30 million, just say 30 million now to 90 million a year. It's not worth it.
Yeah, but then you should be a staunchly against the 850 cc's coming up. I still
don't
like
think
that's written in stone, and that's just brutal.
No, that rumor, and that rumor has gone to ground again, right? So that was raised. I don't think it will happen, especially with the cost. It may happen that they will try and change the displacement or something like that.
I can't see it happening with Dorna wanting to Dorna looking to sell the place. If you're going to sell the place, you get the cap up. The cap cost, the cap for the
market share cap.
Yeah, and then you don't do shit. Then you leave it for the next guy. You leave the for the next ride, the next owner. So
Yeah, look, and I don't think they'll cause a major rift if they are really truly planning to sell it. But again, let's wait and see.
Yeah, the cap is up as high as it's ever been.
I don't think the 850 or 860 or whatever it is CC will happen, unless all the manufacturers want it to happen.
I'm surprised that Dorna just does what they want to.
No, they don't.
How many times they went through telling the manufacturer.
I don't think they're going to get it. Whatever about concessions, I don't think they're going to get every factory into a major development cost, and I don't think so. Like, I think Aprilia will just say fuck off. I can see Yamaha saying fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
KTM would probably be open to it because the nature of the KTM business is radical. Do you know what I mean? Ducati may be open to it if there is a business line for
cards. And if they're holding cards, they might have cards that they've been hidden from the last time they ran. You know, they might say, "Well, we want the 86 millimeter bore too." That they
may do.
You know, they have an engine sitting there waiting just ahead of time for that setup.
Yeah, but I don't think the likes of Honda and that will have an engine fucking sitting there, right?
Well, Honda has the money just to make it. You know, they can push people, and they would like to push people out through money. They love winning through the courthouse. That's what pisses me off.
Yeah, but I still don't believe that they would have any. I don't even believe they would have it started even at this stage, regardless of budget and this, that, and the other.
It would not be a good time business-wise. Let's put it that way.
No, it wouldn't. But listen, they're losing on the track at the moment, right? So they need to kind of fix that, and I think that's where their attention should be. And remember, HRC is a massive, massive industry. You know, it takes up everything from motorbikes to fucking speedboat racing.
Might be thinking, guess what? Now we're all starting. You know, we're hindering everybody else too, and they're big on hindering.
Listen, they're way more focused now, and where I'll put this to you, Jake, is that with all the bad years that they've had, right, their main focus is on getting back, right, so that they can save face and come back and say, we were down in the doldrums, we never quit, and we're the fucking best brand now in the world. That's where their focus mainly is.
I would hope so.
I was a little bit surprised with Marc Marquez, to be honest.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I said this in one of the videos, and I don't know whether people took it the wrong way or not, but if you ever lost someone close to you and you have to go and race, it's one of the hardest things to ever do, right? Because the famous saying, when you're alone with your thoughts, and like, I've raced when I lost someone very, very close to me, and I raced 2 days after. And I can still remember that race, but I cannot remember the corners that I took. I can't remember where I finished. It was just a very, very strange weekend for me. Do you know what I mean? That you put on the helmet.
Right. Yeah, you're in a
daze. You put on the helmet, you're in a daze. Now, don't get me wrong, you were like, and I believe he was working, but again, do you ever just have the feeling
somebody die on him?
Huh?
Did somebody die on him?
His grandfather.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, who was a very, very big part of his life.
Yeah, his grandfather was very close to him.
And was always making him question. Yeah, was always making him question, should he retire or not? Joe? And he said, and I think, I could be wrong, but I just think he felt, anytime that I saw Marc on video, Joe walking around the paddock, in the chair, Joe putting on his hat, it just seemed he'd somewhere else he want to be.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That was just the vibe I got. I don't know whether it was wrong or right. And he was working, he was testing. You could see he was doing multiple runs. He was coming in, changing settings. It just didn't seem to be, the spark was there. And for me, I was just like, I wonder, is this weighing on his shoulders as well. Do you know what I mean?
God, yes. Yeah,
So,
remember I was talking the other day. I was saying you get hopped up, you get mad, you do lap in anger, and you go fast. Same difference. You're when you're numb. Let's put it this way: you're feeling bad about somebody. You don't do fast laps. I'm surprised
you don't.
you did. You know.
Yeah. So no. Look, I think he did rather well. I think actually Pedro Acosta saved him, and by the headlines that Acosta sent, it kind of took the shine off Marc. Do you know what I mean? So kind of, but I think Marc did really well. I was a little bit surprised that he was that far down. I thought he would be a little bit closer.
He was, but he didn't come up. He was fourth.
He
was fourth at the end.
He was not in the last day. In the last day, he was down a bit. No, look, I think look, I think overall, I think he was. I don't think he was fully at the races personally.
No.
I think he did a good job in what he did. You know, I think he tested. He started to understand the bike. They are saying he was magic on the brakes, all right, in Ducati. That he'll definitely put Pecco under pressure for a deepest breaker. But again, you know, I think it is pretty early as well to give him his chance. We know the GP23 is not the easiest bike. I was looking as well, and, you know, they are on the mid-season 23 as well. So I'd still find that a little bit weird that they wouldn't at this stage go, okay, you know, here's your final version of the 2023 bike. But I don't think that's necessarily related to just because it's Marc Marquez, you know, because the R46 are on the...
We said beforehand, this is the first time he's really been on a good, it's definitely the first time he's been on a good bike, and he's going to a rear wheel bias bike. He's learning.
The latest Honda was rear wheel bias as well.
But it was a shitty bike. So yeah.
Rear wheel bias. I think
so, you know.
Yeah, look, he's had an awful lot to unlearn as well. Like, you know, riding a Honda for so long, and now you're on this bike. Like there is a lot there. I just personally, looking at him during the test and the videos I saw of him, I just felt he didn't want to be there. In a way, right? And his mind was somewhere else. Pedro Acosta. I'm still.
Well, I'd say
I
was happy at first, and I'm still going. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Like I was
his stock went up, but this hasn't shot through the roof yet. Put that way.
No, I think it has, but I'm not sure. Is it
warranted?
Do you ever feel that you're being set up?
Yeah.
You know, like the other KTM riders were all testing. Do you know what I mean? And he was just fucking flying. Now, look, he's had 5 or 6 days as well in a row on that bike. Do you know what I mean? Right. So you would kind of expect him to be on the pace, especially for the official test. But you know, I think he did really good. I think that like the feedback from him was that, you know,
there's a lot of speculation with that stock. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, but a lot of the feedback is that he's a wise head on young shoulders, which is good. It's good to hear, I suppose. How will he do in the first few races? Look, he has an awful lot of learning to do, and like this is what I said about the testing. Testing is testing, right? You know, it's a fucking different kind of piss when there's 22 bikes or 24 bikes around you, and you're all fucking angry to gain a position. You know,
you're all trying to get in the same spots.
And then he has, you know, to learn to manage that, manage the bike, manage the fucking buttons. You know, testing is fine. You've time to think about your lap or whatever. Remove all that, put in a bit of red mist, and like it's a different ball game altogether.
Yeah.
Pecco, Bastianini. I thought Bastianini looked really, really good. Pecco looked okay. You know, he did it normal Pecco style. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Way built up to it, bang.
You waited a long time though this time. He
Well,
went.
no, it kind of makes sense that he did it on the last stage. You know what I mean? He tested everything. He's a happy boy. It's going to be dangerous.
But he held back a lot. Seems like
He
more
did,
than
yeah.
normal. And
No,
then
he was doing, but he was doing what he normally does in the race weekend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Dials in. Jorge Martin. There was a lot of stuff about him. Like he didn't when he tried the new fairings first. He didn't like them. Ducati told him persist. And then he started to. They changed a couple of settings, and he started to like it.
He's done that before, though. You know that's that.
Yeah, but
he always rejects like the first one. I don't like it, and then they say, "Go, try it again. Go out again." And then okay, you know.
Well, yeah. No, I just thought it was a little bit weird that on the final day again he was back to backing on the 23, and the old aero and stuff like that, and it was again, you know, realistically day 3, you're kind of set within your aero. You know, you're starting your race prep really. So,
but he ended up with a 24.
He did. He set the fastest lap, but even though that he set the fastest lap very early on the 24 spec, he was going back to the 23 spec fairings and this, that, and the other. So I thought, you know, during the day, that's a little bit of a weird move to be making. But you know, I think look, Ducati are clearly in the strongest position right now.
Strongest engineering, strongest bikes.
KTM are thereabouts. Like there's just the biggest question for me with KTM is like, can they make that bike last? I know Binder can, but can Binder do it at Ducati pace is the question. Aprilia, I would then say, is next in line.
I think
but saying that it's only.
Did Aprilia surpasses KTM this year as the Ducati challenger?
I don't know. I would think. Like my only worry about Aprilia is that it's only Aleix can get going on it. The other two can't. And it's a toss up then between Yamaha and Honda. They have both made.
What about Aprilia grabbing that manager? It was what's his name?
Brivio.
Yes,
yeah.
Brivio.
So yeah, I think they actually did well. But again, you know, he's going to Trackhouse Racing. He's not going to thing now. Are they thinking of the future and trying to get him on board? I don't know. The Brivio, though, you know, I think if anyone needs a new team manager, I personally think Lynn Jarvis is gone the end of this season or maybe the end of next season. And he's definitely one of the ones that you would.
Lynn Jarvis gone?
I think he will. Yeah, I think he's getting to that age of.
You think it's by his want or Yamaha's want?
I think Yamaha are incredibly loyal. Do you know what I mean? And I think they will work out his contract or whatever. I don't think they'll fire him, but I think they will work or kind of give him a semi-factory.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you think they'll be persuading him to leave?
No, I think they will just give him a different job.
No. Okay.
You know what I mean? It's just
that's heavy persuasion.
yeah. But I think, look, overall, I think I was really enthused about what I saw in the test from a lot of people. Acosta, my boy Augusto Fernandez, I was really disappointed to see how he performed. Whether it was him or whether he was really just testing, I don't know. But he was like every day 2 seconds off the pace, which is unlike him unless there's something wrong with him we don't know about. Raul, of course.
I saw that.
Yeah.
They were pointing out how bad he was doing. He was angry. They said he was really pissed off too.
Yeah. Like he's not a 2 second a lap off rider. Do you know what I mean? This guy was in the top 10 last season. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. Other than that, I thought, look, it was really, really, really good test. It's great to get action back, pictures back. You know, I have my my toolkit somewhere here. I have a big screen just here. I'm measuring what's going on between bits and pieces from last season. So look, there'll be a few videos coming out over the next few days.
That's our man.
So
and you got a World Superbike subscription too.
I did, yeah, by mistake.
Did you?
yeah.
Good. You should have one. Come on. And I think it's going to be a good year, especially for you as a Yamaha fan. I think Yamaha is going to do better than most people thinking. I think Ray is going to perk up with that Yamaha because Yamaha needed power. The Kawasaki was down on power last year, and that was killing him. He was overriding that bike to make anything happen.
It'll certainly be interesting to see how Ray does, to be fair. You know, I am really interested to see how Bulega does. And I'm really interested to see how Alvaro...
He broke his back.
Did he break his back?
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see how he deals with it.
I can tell you personally.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how he would deal with a fast teammate. Do you know what I mean? A proper fast teammate.
Yeah.
Who, like, Bulega got on the V2 and just gelled with it. Just absolutely gelled with it. He got onto the V4 and he's like, yeah, this is like still home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like, and, you know, yeah. And then you have Top Rack. Look, you can never write off Top Rack. Like, you know,
I know.
Look, I think it would be good as long as it, like, my only problem with watching World Superbikes was last year it was 9 times out of 10 a race for second, which, don't get me wrong, is good, but I like a little bit of drama if you don't know who's really going to win. Do you know what I mean? And to be fair to MotoGP, except for sprint races, it kind of was like that last year. Any one of 4 or 5 riders could have won it at the start of the weekend. So I mean, who was going to win it? You don't know. Do you know what I mean? So look, I think I will watch a bit of, like, the only thing I can't, like, I'll probably watch it online because I can't stand James Toslin's fucking commentary. It just fucking.
I know you have it from day one.
Shoot me, like.
He's going to punch you in the mouth. He's going to say, "Hey pal, what problem you got with me?"
He will not punch me in his mouth because he'll only upset his hair. Right, so no, it's nothing personally against James Toslin. He was a fucking brilliant rider. Don't get me wrong. It's just, it's just there's a voice that goes through your head, and that's the voice that does it for me. It's just like I will watch paint dry rather than listen to. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. Very sorry, James. But yeah, look. I think it's going to be a good few days. Can't wait now for testing again on the 19th and 20th. So it's not far away. So yeah, and other than that, I think that's it for me this week.
Of all people, and give money to give him all the hard work he's doing. And we got to have him for his Ducati fund. For his Ducati fund. He goes for Aprilia. Yeah. I love my Aprilia. I'll be honest with you. My new one.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I have like I said, I got every bike. You know.
I don't know. But I thought one of those things we wait and see. But anyway, on that bombshell, we will wrap it up for this week, and sure we will catch up again next week. Arrivederci, folks. In my best Italian accent, huh? See you later, folks.